Hey everybody, so welcome back to another Hellfire video. Today I'm going to go ahead and cover the J-pipe, catless or catted install, and the bastard pipe, so any variation of bastard pipe. Here's a full Hellfire Fab turbo back kit. I'm going to be using a catless J-pipe and a quad bastard pipe. I highly recommend getting new hardware for your turbo before you take off like an OEM or a really old J-pipe off of your turbo, mostly just to prevent downtime for you. This is what your new hardware is gonna look like as opposed to the old hardware. In my case, I've only replaced two because only two were bad. It's not always recommended to replace your metal turbo gasket. You can to be safe. I've personally reused mine about 4 or 5 times before replacing it. That's entirely up to you. First, we're gonna snag this pipe. We're gonna gently slide it into position and let it hang. Grab some hardware and you're going to loosely secure your J-pipe to the turbo. After loosely securing your hardware, you'll grab your second piece to your J-pipe. I will loosely bolt this to your transmission mount right here. Now that this is on, there's some things to note. This has adjustment in and out, up and down, but primarily you want that flat on the bottom. You'll take this, you'll mate it up, and then you'll put your V-band on there and loosely secure it down. So now the V-band clamp is on and loosely secure. You can go ahead and adjust this as needed to without fighting the front pipe. While you're doing this, you want to check your clearances because it does have some adjustment. You want to check and make sure you're clearing everything all the way down and all the way up. Whenever you are securing your V-bands, when possible, you want to put the bolt side up away from the ground. The furthest away from the ground, the better. This mount has been aligned properly and bolted down. This is still a loose fit. You're gonna come up here, you're gonna tighten all the turbo flange bolts. All the turbo flange bolts have been tightened. The transmission mount was tightened previously. Now we're gonna go ahead and tighten up your V-band clamp. Your entire J-pipe is hard installed. And your final touch is going to be to install these lock nuts that come with your kit. Now that the J-pipe is fully installed, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the Catback exhaust. You're gonna pretty much move from front to back, loosely installing everything. Nothing is going to be tightened all the way down until everything is hung and temporarily clamped. Now I've gotten the first piece of the Catback installed. It's loose. Don't forget to put your gasket in here. Now we're gonna move on to the secondary pipe, which wraps around the diff. So we're going to hang it on the bushing first, then we're going to V-band clamp this end. Put some WD-40 and you can put a little bit in the exhaust hanger bushing and that'll help slide hangers into place. The diff piece has been temporarily hung and loosely secured with the V-band clamp. If you have a single exit, then you're gonna move on to this piece. You're just gonna slide it into the exhaust hangers first, and then loosely secure it with your V-band clamp. For this application, we're going to install the quad tips first, and then the Y pipe after. Quad tips hung. I recommend sliding the rear hanger in first, and then the front. Same for both sides. You're gonna grab the Y and then loosely secure it to your little diff pipe. Loosely secured with this V-band clamp. Now I'm gonna go ahead and align both of the quad tips to the Y pipe. I have the passenger side loosely secured, hung up. Now, if you ever encounter a situation where your V-band is looking a little like this, that's because it's not positioned properly on the hangers. You just need to adjust it on the hangers and then it'll go into place how it needs to. There we go. So in this case, it just needed to be slid a little further back on that rear hanger, and now it's flush. Now that everything is loosely secured and in place, we're gonna do our final touches. You're gonna see that the diff pipe right there is hanging a little lower than it should. We can adjust that, and then we're gonna mostly pay attention to if your quad tips are aligned properly. If they're not, all you have to do is rotate them on the V-band to get them straightened out, whichever way they need to go. Once you have everything dialed in, you're gonna wanna go ahead and do the final secures. I recommend working from front to rear. Make sure this is aligned and flush, and then you're gonna move your way back. You're gonna secure this one, and you're gonna want the V-band in a similar location, a similar angle to this. Same for the Y. Then you're gonna move up for your quads. Super simple install, definitely easier with the buddy. If you're installing a J pipe on another brand aftermarket catback, you're going to want to remove the pipe that's here. Whatever pipe for whatever catback is here, you're going to want to remove that, install the J pipe, and then come back and reinstall and adjust your catback. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, drop a DM. I usually respond to emails a lot faster than I do DMs. And I hope you guys like it. Never hesitate to give me feedback. Let me know what I'm doing wrong or what I'm doing right. Any information helps. And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support. Thank you always.